Today, I have the beautiful Marilyn Perez on the Awaken Feminine podcast, and she's joining me all the way from Costa Rica. Welcome to the show.
Hi, how are you? Well, yes, from Costa Rica and you're in Australia, so it's,
Yeah, I
you
love
know,
it. And
similar
yeah,
but not the same.
no, but Costa Rica is on my list of places to visit. So
It's
when I'm
beautiful.
there, I will be seeing you in person.
Yes, 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 you're totally welcome. It's beautiful, beautiful energy, beautiful people,
Mm.
amazing fruits and veggies.
Oof.
So yeah,
Yeah,
I'm
sounds
lucky. Yes,
fine. Yeah, and I know it's a bit of a vortex there, so yeah, I would imagine the energy to be yeah, amazing.
yes.
Yes.
Very feminine, actually.
Yeah.
Very, very feminine. Yeah,
Yeah. Yeah, perfect place for me to go to.
exactly. You're welcome to come.
Yes, one day for sure. Now, Marilyn, I would love for you to share with our audience, first of all, just a quick introduction of who you are and what you do.
Yeah, so, well, my name is Marilyn Perez in Spanish. And I'm living in Costa Rica, moved here with a corporate job in '09 and quit that job and stayed here because I loved it for all the reasons that I already said. And quit my job, corporate job. I was doing very well and I'm still doing well. But just a lot of lessons came with that, and I began to trying to find and search my path. And the more I search, and the more I was just wanting and desiring things, the more I was not in me. Like I was just trying to find me somewhere else. And then when I found me, that I was always there. So I was like, a lot of people are in the same search and wanting that I was. And I just began to help, especially women, with that, to realizing that there you are, like maybe
Mm,
sometimes you don't see you or hear you, but you're there all the time.
mm,
So I began to help women, and I call myself a coach. But always, that question is like, what do you do? And I was like, I don't know how to explain it because it's not even coaching. It's so magical when you just serve the divine and you are in the spirit. It's everything is so magical. So yeah, I mainly do one-on-ones. Now I do it part-time and part-time with another job. And yeah, that's basically my story.
mm. I love it. We're going to dive deeper into your
Yes.
story and all the things. But before we do that, I always love to ask my guests this question, and that is, what is your definition of an awakened feminine?
Oh, that is like how to explain that, like I'm gonna try to explain it from this level of consciousness. And then, like when I real like time passes by and when the level of consciousness expands, I'm like, oh, now it's a new definition. So it's just to be awakened, is just to be like in your energy, in your power, in your leadership, and just taking full responsibility of your life, your energy, your system, your emotions, your thoughts, doing life how you want it and how you like it, being awakened enough to not being autopilot and always choose. And that is like, I'm going to emphasize that choosing, because we always have the choice to do whatever we want and like.
Mm, I
That
love
will be
that.
my definition, but I don't know if a year, from now, my definition is gonna be more expanded and more like
Yeah.
enlightened. I don't know.
Yeah. I love that. I love that reminder that, definitions can change and it's okay as well for it to change because, like you say, as you evolve, as you grow, you'll be like, oh, it's also this and it's also that, or it's not that anymore. And yeah, and it's perfect. So right now, that's your definition. And, maybe you come back on my podcast another time and then we'll be like, oh, the last time you said this, is it still this? That'll be,
Exactly.
yeah,
Exactly.
yeah, I love it. Okay, so Marilyn, I want to dive into your journey a bit more. So you were in corporate and you said you started, you know, finding yourself, like, going, oh, this doesn't feel right, or all those things. So what sparked that kind of going internally to see yourself? Because you were looking outside, you said, but you were actually
Yeah.
always there. Yeah. What sparked that journey?
Yeah, I was, and I'm not, I don't want to blame the system or the government or corporate because, we can play in this 3D world. But mainly for me, my experience was that I was becoming very masculine, actually, and always hustling. And yes, I had a lot of clarity and direction, but I just felt like I was trapped, and it was actually trapped energy in my body. Like I felt so false and fake, and I was very successful, and I'm air quoting because that is not my definition of success now. I can do things in other ways totally different. I was never resting. I was just in the go, 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 go. And I did a lot of things for the corporation and for other people, but never for me. So I was burned out. And for me, it was very physical and also mentally. Like I was having a lot of very negative thoughts. My self narrative was very negative towards me, towards my reality. And it's not that I became aware of that. It was just, for me, it was a very impulsive decision. And then, we can go into quantum timelines and everything, but I think I was just calling myself in that time to just take a break. And I had a little bit of savings, and I just quit. And I thought it was just going to be a sabbatical for 1 year. And then I was 7 years in that. And I don't know how money lasted. I don't know, like that is the time when you start experiencing miracles, and like nothing makes sense, and just things just happen for you in your favor. But still, I was very negative. And then I just began to look at myself, and it was very actually my shadow, which I'm not. People, like, we can go into the personal development, and there's a lot of theories and philosophies that the shadow is bad, is dark, is your bad side. But actually, that's what saved me, is the truth, of what energies are you accessing in those periods of time, what emotions, what thoughts you are choosing at that time. And at that time, it felt like they were using me. And then that is like when I had the breakthrough that I could, I could choose my thoughts, I could choose my emotions. And I was like, oh, if there is someone observing my thoughts, like, who is this person? So it was very internal. And honestly, I thought I was losing my marbles. And that's why I began to help women, because I don't think we talk about this enough. And if we do, we are judged as, either like a crazy woman, which is like, it's very like the stereotype is that crazy, hormonal, or like people just denying the reality you are experiencing, and then just makes it worse and worse.
Mm. Yeah, wow. Thank you for sharing that. So you didn't work for 7 years, but you said even after the 7 years, you were still negative. So what were you doing in the 7 years? I'm just interested.
Yeah, I was just going back and forth. I think I was denying my reality. I was I was not grounded. I just experienced being grounded, I think, a year and a half or two ago. I thought I was, but it was my mind running the show all the time. So yeah, I was not in reality. I was very my mind was creating fantasies, and I believed in that fantasies. And then that when I realized what reality is, and just living in the what is, it was very healing at that time. Now I am experiencing another, I'm more in the manifesting phase, but that's how I started my healing, just being in fully reality in my body, like experiencing all the sensations in my body. I was not doing that. And that's why also I was sick in the body, because, like the numbness, the not paying attention in what is going on inside of your body, just like all the calls and you are just not aware what is going on. So yeah, that is like I was not aware where I was, like in the space, like where I moved, and I was very in the head.
Yeah. And I think, unless you have started on this journey, most of us are in our heads. That I would say, like, there's not many people that are in their hearts unless they grew up being very spiritual, surrounded by people like that. We've been like you were in the hustle culture, very masculine. I was the same. I was like in my head, very masculine, doing all the things and hustling. And like you say, we don't talk about this enough, where we really need to just pause and look at what our reality is and actually see it for what it really is rather than what we think it is.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Yes. And a thought came pop up right now when you were talking, like, no one teaches you how to be a woman. It should be, we must be like, go to a school to be a woman, because like, number one, physically, like all the hormones and everything is so amazing, and it's a miracle what my body does once you are in your body. And then just like, yes, it has its advantages, and the society rewards being very masculine, especially in corporate, but the gifts that come accessing the feminine is just amazing, and it is more powerful. You just don't even have to do anything. Like everything comes to you. You're so magnetic, you're nice. Actually, like, I have more friends now. Like, it's just a new life. And I just wish like all women could experience this. And I'm not even a mom, like I now I am just like, what if I become a mom? And like, this is just more expanded in motherhood.
Yeah. And yeah, like you say, there should be a school to teach
Yeah.
women all these things, because we're cyclic, you know what I mean, beings, right? We have
Yeah.
our cycle. There's a moon cycle, there's the cycles of the seasons. And I didn't know about all like the cycles until in the last few years when I started speaking to beautiful women like you. And I'm like, ah, okay, that makes so much sense. We have these, we have our spring, we have our summer, autumn, and winter. And that's normal every day globally in the environment, but also within us with our menstrual cycle. There is that spring, summer, autumn, winter as well. So, and learning to play with those energies so that we can create and manifest, at the best times for us. I think, yeah, we do need a school. Maybe we can start a school, Marilyn.
Yes. Yes. And I also don't want to leave men behind, because like, well, part of I didn't have a romantic relationship with a man for like 10 years. And that was part of, the numbness and like blaming men and hating men and competing with men. Like, you're not that attractive, you are so tough. So part of my healing is like, okay, so when people start healing, and I'm using healing, but actually like loving yourself, putting yourself first, being responsible for your life, like everything comes, because I began healing because I was running out of money. And I was like, okay, I have to do something. But when I began to look at myself and loving on myself and putting myself first, like, then I met these beautiful men, and I began to, to learn how to have a relationship with the masculine, and how to respect that part, how to respect a man, and now that we're talking about cycles, like, men also should learn how women do, like how women's body work, because he just craves of knowledge of how and when, and like, like, why are you so like funny today, and like the days that I just crave for my alone time. So it is for women, but also I think it's the whole society. Men are also craving for that information.
I love that you brought that up because I feel like nowadays there's so much men bashing, and I really don't like that. And the thing is, like, how our society has been, built and programmed, is not the current, like, the men next to us fault. It's just how it's been, created in that way. So, they're also suffering. And we need to remember that they were taught those things not by choice, but because that's just being passed down to them from, whenever things started changing, where it's so masculine. So it's, yeah, so important that we don't leave our men behind, that we love on our men as well, and building that relationship, the masculine and the feminine. Because as much as it's awakened feminine, I think it's, we need that. You can't have one without the other, really.
Exactly.
Right?
No. And also, yeah, like I started my story saying that I was very masculine, but it's okay. So I was very wounded masculine, because masculine, there is nothing wrong with your masculine side either.
Yes.
It complements the feminine and also in men. So it's how to be healthy in the feminine and in the masculine.
Yes. So you were talking about, okay, you kind of had that epiphany where you can choose your thoughts. You're like, oh, I can choose my thoughts. I don't need to be negative anymore. Was there something that sparked that realization to take you down this path of healing and then helping other women to do the same?
Yeah, I think it always makes me emotional when I can see now when someone is driven by the mind, and also I'm not blaming the mind. The mind is beautiful. It's here to serve us. But when, like I can see where like the mind is traveling somewhere else, when a person is not present, and I am referring to a third person, but I am not here like fully healed and perfect. Like I still catch myself, but now it's less frequent and I catch myself like every time, and I am in less in autopilot. So it's not a journey. It's a journey. It's not a something that you're, I don't know if someone in this world, just like finish that process, like done with the mind. I don't think so, but at least I am not. And it always makes me emotional, especially people that are either very confused or think that are not, like there is no solution for them, because I was there and it's not easy. You really believe that you really don't see beauty in this world. Like world is a gray, black thing. So it's like I have had a couple of spiritual awakening moments, but especially it's a day by day thing when you like realize, especially certain narratives, like my narrative, like if you will be in my mind, you will be like, what accident, what running out of money, what, like that wouldn't make sense to you because it's not your narrative. It is mine. It is mine in my mind. So you have to discover your own narrative. Like if you have a victim narrative, or like very afraid, or everyone is against me, or nothing works, you just have to become very, very aware. At the beginning, writing for me was very helpful. I also did coaching with someone, and I still do. It's a journey. But I promise that healing gets to happen. You get to be conscious and you get to choose your emotions and your thoughts, even though you think it can't be done or is impossible for you. I promise it does. It changes your life.
Yeah, I totally agree. Because sometimes it is hard. And sometimes I'm like, I just wish that I can just close my eyes again and be unconscious. But I think it's such a beautiful journey to, start really seeing things for what they are and accepting those parts of you that, you think are bad, because that, like you said before, the shadow is not bad. it's also necessary. Just like you can't have the feminine without the masculine, you can't have, light without the dark, right?
Yeah. Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, yeah. Yeah, and also it's I lost my train of thought, but I was gonna say something. Well, anyways, it'll come.
It will come.
It'll come.
It will come when it's meant to come. Yeah. And I totally agree. I don't think there's anyone that is so enlightened that they are just love and light all the time and, not in their mind. I think it's always a journey. And it's just that, you get better. Like you said, you're more aware, you pick things up quicker. So then you can, go, oh, okay, I don't need to worry about that because I've picked it up. I'm not going to go down that spiral. I'm going to, be here and not go down there, down the rabbit hole, and and then go get lost in your stories, your narrative, like you were saying.
Yeah, and also like I remember not what now what I was about to say, and it's very important when I begin to become aware of my emotions and my thoughts because they were so negative, and I was like, okay, I'm gonna heal myself, and I began to heal. It's very important that people, and I have had clients that this has happened to them. People don't know how to access joy or love or the emotions that you don't feel in a negative narrative, like, so when I was told, okay, now feel joy, I was like, how? And like, there is like, no one teaches you, like, at least in my childhood, no one taught me how to feel joy or be creative or be inspired and it's not at the beginning, I was waiting for a thunder to strike me, where those emotions are done and those thoughts. Like now, think how a wealthy woman will think. And I was like, how does she think? So you get to practice them. Like it's not that the thunder, well, maybe the thunder is going to come for you, I don't know. But for me, like the more I practice, the more I expanded the range of my emotions and how that is like the path I am in right now of manifestation, like just practicing those emotions. And when I practice one emotion, then I find another one. And then I find the distinction between happiness and joy. And it feels so different in the body. And sometimes like it's triggered by a thought, or sometimes it just comes automatically in the body. So it is fun. You date yourself and you discover it. And that part, I don't think the coaching industry is doing the job of explaining you how to practice them. And there is a practice, it's like going to the gym and just practice and build the muscle. And people get stuck in that and then come back to their stories, like you were saying, because no one teaches you how to practice the new stories and the new feelings and the new thoughts.
Yeah. I love that. Yeah, we don't get taught how to feel joy and love and all those things because I think most people are numbing themselves to, the suffering that they are experiencing. And when you're numbing your, lower vibrational emotions, you're also numbing your ability to feel joy and love. And that's why we don't know how to feel. And yeah, I just love what you're saying, just, practicing and, getting better at experiencing those. And then that can take you to the next places that you want to go to. So, Marilyn, do you have like a practice that you like to do so that, our audience can get a taste of what's something that they might be able to start doing to help them experience their emotions?
Yeah. Well, first I will like to give a practice with the mind that totally, I think it saved my life, just to get to like, okay, so if you are, I usually like set an alarm. It used to happen every hour. And now it's just like, when I wake up at noon and then when I go to bed, like check where your mind is at. And I talk to my mind. Like I ask my mind where he's at, you know, like, where are you sitting right now? And my mind usually tells me I am worrying, or usually tells me a narrative of, from the job I have, you know, that I talk to a person and blah, 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 or I have to pick up things at the store. So it depends on where I'm at. And then I say to my mind, I like to direct my mind where I want him to go. Like, oh, right now, sorry that I didn't direct you before, but I want you to be and sit in a beautiful place, or in a joyful place. Or if I am preparing to go to bed, I would like to go and sit where I am about to rest, you know. So you direct your mind where you want him to go. That is very helpful for me. I used to have it every time I open a door. Like, I used to direct my mind, because at that time I needed it very frequently, until my narrative changed. I think that is like the most helpful that I have been practicing mind wise. And then in the emotions, like, it also, like, you discover if your thoughts trigger your emotions, or the emotions trigger your thoughts. Usually I just like set my alarm for like 2 or 3 minutes, and I just do a body scan. And if something is there, I just let it go. I just let it feel. Like, I just, like, if tears need to come out, like, I just let it without judgment. And I have practices for anger, like I just yell or scream, or I dance, but I move the energy through my body. And it depends on how your energy in your body moves. You know, some people are more, they see energy, they feel it, or they hear it. For me, everyone is a psychic, so it depends on how you move your energy in your system.
I love that. Thank you. That mind exercise is so powerful, because it's a reminder that we can direct our thoughts. It's not even that, that you can choose your thoughts, is you can direct your thoughts. You can go, I want you there. And I'm interested, you said the mind is a he. So what is the she, and why are they he's and she's?
Yeah, my mind is a he, is my masculine energy, and as the one that brings the direction, the safety, the stability, and the one that provides me with solutions. So it's how you see the masculine world. Usually that's my mind. And I've heard people that call her she. For me, it's a he. It brings me, objectives, strategies. And my emotions is a she. So I tell also my mind to treat well to my emotions, to my feminine, So I tell my mind that how to treat my emotions, because sometimes the self narrative is like, I'm gonna go with the most general self narrative. You're fat, you're ugly, blah blah blah, and that's how you make your emotions feel certain way. That's more spiritual than the mind body connection, but yeah.
Yeah, no, that makes total sense. Yeah. And why is it so important that we have our masculine treat our feminine well? Like, what is the benefit of that?
Yeah, usually, and this is taught since the beginning of the era. I don't know, like, it's been taught forever, but the suppression, usually the mind is the one that says, shh, shush it, like, not now, don't cry, don't do this, don't be too free. And it's usually that suppresses our emotions, and that's how also gets me very emotional, because when you are so suppressed, it's literally, you are free and you feel like you're in jail. And the more free your emotions are, it's just, you get to access, like you were saying, you get to access all kind of emotions, without judging, the crying and the smiling, but that makes you and more genuine and more authentic. And the more authentic you are, the more magnetic you are, and the more happy you are. You just eat ice cream and you just really enjoy it. I promise. You get, like, the more I practice my emotions and how I felt in the body. There was once that I just had, I don't remember the dessert I was having at a restaurant, and I was like, oh my God, I really can, like, savor and taste this thing. So I promise that everything changes. Like, you see the world better, not better, but like it's shinier, it's like more colorful, and you taste things better. And like, you really like all the softies and touches that you do to your body, you really feel it. So it's like when your feminine is free and not suppressed, is like you really live in this world, and you don't feel like you are just a zombie, just a walking zombie.
I love that. I think every single person, whether you're male or female, needs to experience that because, like you say, it's masculine and feminine energy. We all have that, regardless of whether you are male or female. And to be able to live in our reality and feel all the sensations and actually experience it, yeah, that is so beautiful. Yeah, thank you for sharing that. I lost my train of thought now. I had a question for you. And I'm like, where was I going with this? Okay, I remember now. So helping women to be seen, to remind them that they have always been there. What sparked that? I mean, I know you had your journey, but usually, a lot of people have their journeys, and they might not necessarily want to help other people, actually, do the same thing. They're just happy that they've gone on their journey. They will help other people, if they need to, but they don't actually put themselves out there and go, this is what I'm doing. I want to help you to see yourself, to express your most authentic self. What was that? What was that moment that you went, I'm going to help other people?
I think it started also like in the corporate world, like just seeing women not giving, like, it's the smallest things, like, you get to notice, like, not giving their opinions, not speaking in public. And then I caught myself doing that. And when you experience number one, like, we give to this world a totally different perspective. So we give a lot if we speak, if we share, if we help each other. And I think the world will become more balanced if we keep doing that. What spark is just like, like little things in myself and in others. And I think also my childhood, like in Guatemala women are very repressed. And actually that's why I don't live there, because like I just don't vibe with that culture, and also like experiencing other cultures. Like I lived in the States and I got to see, like people, like women were more expressed, and I was like, oh, women have more opportunities. Like and just like traveling the world and experience other cultures just gave me other perspectives, and how people just do things. But mainly my journey. And also like I was telling you, like I just get to see it now, like when a woman is suppressed, and I was like, hey, I can help you.
Yeah. For the audience, the women who are listening to us right now, and they're like, yeah, I'm afraid to speak up. I'm not really showing my true self at work, at home, in my relationships. Basically, I just don't show my real self because it's so super scary. What is the first thing that would help them to start actually, you know, opening up and being able to
Yeah.
step forward. Yeah.
Yeah, number one, I acknowledge, I will acknowledge you because I've been there and the fear is fully real. Like it's paralyzing in the body. Like a coach or someone that just tells you like, hey, just do the thing. I hate, like I paid a lot of people to tell me just that. And I was just like paralyzed, like not doing the thing. What I will tell you is just like take very baby steps that feel safe in your body and in your mind. Like if speaking like in a stage you're not ready for that, then just go and speak at your job and give an opinion. If you're not ready for that, then give it to your husband or a friend. If you're not ready for that, give it to your pet. But say it, but very baby steps. For me, it was very important to work in the safety in my body and also reminding people that the outside is only the projection of the inside. So when you are honest with yourself, as a byproduct, you are being honest with everyone else, and everyone is going to be honest with you. It's the same thing with seeing yourself, with hearing yourself. Like, yes, you can be an opinion, but if you don't believe that you are heard, then you're not going to be heard. So you got to start to believe in your belief system and just seeing yourself as that. And start with baby step, like super baby steps, and being consistent. It's not a thing that you do in a weekend, in a VIP, weekend, and then you forget about it. No, it's a daily practice. At the beginning, maybe it's going to take you an hour, but then after a couple of weeks, it's going to take you 5 minutes, and you just do it every single day.
So much wisdom there. Thank you for sharing. I love the baby steps approach. Like you're saying, just say it. Like it's just allowing ourselves to just speak it out because we don't even allow ourselves to do it, even like to the thin air. At least if you get it out, it's out. So I love that approach where you're like, okay, baby steps. Not ready. Okay, we just need to speak it out, get it out of the system. So I love that. And can you talk a bit about why it's important to have safety in your body? Like, why do we need to feel safe in our body to take the action?
Yeah. For me and most of the clients that I have had, I have a few exceptions, but the body is the last that catches up to what you want to do, like it's the last one that gets the note. So when something is like unapproachable, like makes you feel like super nervous or afraid, actually the body just like is very resistant. So when you bring safety into your body, the easiest the thing that you are trying to do become. And actually the more normal that you do it, the more normal, when you normalize things and like this is not a big deal, like I'm just gonna just say my opinion in this meeting and it's normal, then it is safe in your body. And then is when you are begin to become that woman who, become that woman that gives an opinion, become that woman that writes the book, become that woman. But you need to normalize it and bring safe to your body. And there is a lot of techniques, like you can do it with your mind, you can talk to yourself. I am very somatic, so my favorite is just talking to myself while I breathe, and I breathe through the belly, and that just sends a signal to the brain to feel safe. So it's just a combination of all those things, and then you are not paralyzed. You just start doing things, and so in super baby steps.
That's beautiful. I'm just looking at the time, going, yeah, have to start wrapping up. So I've got a couple more questions for you, Marilyn.
Yeah.
The first one being, what would you like our audience to take home with them from our conversation today?
That you're not broken. You are not like, please don't isolate yourself thinking that you are the only one in this world going through things or being paralyzed or not loving yourself or whatever you want or not worthy. I don't like that word of worthy because like it's not that. Like you're not a book in a shelf, you don't have a price. So it's don't isolate yourself. Don't think you're the only one. Don't hide. Speak up. Ask for help. You're not broken. There is just distorted information in your mind, slow moving energy in your body and in your emotions that need to be moved. And you're beautiful and you're loved. And there is a gift for us in this world to have you.
Thank you. I received that too. Thank you for that beautiful message. Yeah, thank you. And lastly, what is currently setting your soul on fire?
Oof. I think for me, it's being more visible. Like the audience I've been having is more local, and part of, you cannot tell a person to leave sugar if you're still having a Snickers in your mouth. So, like a chocolate in your mouth. So I want to be more visible so I can like help more women to be more visible, not only, and when I say visible, it's not being online, it's not being in these beautiful podcasts, it's just daring to choose yourself to do different things, the things that your soul is just craving for you to do, and to have more expansion, however you want to do it, like, I don't know, get married, have children, write a book, become an athlete, whatever you want to do. It's just, I think it's just that this life is such a present that it's for you to enjoy. And I think that is what my soul is craving, to enjoy more this world and to help other women to do it.
Yeah, that's so beautiful. As you were talking, when you said visible, and then you went, not like social media. I'm like, oh, okay, it's visible to ourselves. That's kind of like that's what kind of popped in. I was like, oh, okay, so necessary, so necessary. So many women that, that needs the work that you do. So thank you for doing the work that you do. And so, Marilyn, if people do want to find out more about you or how they can work with you, where is the best place to go?
Well, it's in my Instagram. It's my name. As I am also, my IG handle is the energy shifter, because I think you can shift your energy very, very fast. And it's my name. It's Marilyn.Perez.ESC.
Nice.
But you can find me as the energy shifter. Yeah.
Awesome. I will have all your details in the show notes so people can reach out to you. Thank you once again for this beautiful conversation.
Thank you so much. It was such an honor, and I had an awesome time. And sorry if you guys hear my cat, it's dinner time. So he was part of the podcast
to wrap up then. Yeah, thank you, Marilyn. And you're my last guest for season 3 of the podcast before we go into season 4. So yeah, I'm very grateful that we finished off with you and having this beautiful conversation. So thank you.
Thank you so much. And I want all your audience to see themselves and accept themselves and love themselves just as they are, with the hair you have, the body you have, the job you have. Just love who you are, where you're at right now.
Yeah. Thank you.